The Nolan trilogy concludes with The Dark Knight Rises now on QuipQuest.
2012, Christopher Nolan set out to do what few directors dare, end a trilogy without compromise. With a budget of $250 million, he assembled his final Batman army. Christian Bale returns as Bruce Wayne, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, Morgan Freeman, all back for the finale. New players, Tom Hardy as the monstrous Bane, Anne Hathaway as formidable Selina Kyle, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt as idealistic cop John Blake. Nolan shot across 3 continents, Pittsburgh, New York, Los Angeles, and even the skies above Scotland, using IMAX cameras to capture epic scale. He staged a Wall Street fistfight with thousands of real extras and blew up a football stadium live. When it opened July 20th, 2012, The Dark Knight Rises grossed $160.9 million domestically in its first weekend. It finished with over $1 billion worldwide, the second Batman film to cross $1 billion. At the Oscars, it earned nominations for cinematography, sound editing, and sound mixing, a fitting tribute to a film that pushed practical filmmaking to its limits. Critics called it a stunning conclusion. Audiences called it the end of an era. This is the story of the film that brought Nolan's Dark Knight to a close. The Dark Knight Rises.
Bane's voice was so indecipherable they had to re-record half his dialogue. Tom Hardy's original Bane voice, delivered through a custom mouthpiece, was so muffled during early test screenings that audiences couldn't understand a word. Nolan frantically brought Hardy back for 5 weeks of ADR, automated dialogue replacement. Even then, they had to digitally enhance the voice mix, which is why Ben sounds so distinct, part Hardy, part sound design magic.
The Batman vs. Bane fist fight was choreographed by a real MMA fighter. Nolan hired J.J. Perry, a former stuntman and martial artist, to choreograph the brutal sword fight. Perry used real MMA techniques, including clinch work, knee strikes, and ground and pound, to make Bane feel like a genuine threat. Bale and Hardy trained together for months, and the fight was shot over 4 grueling nights. Hardy later said he broke a few of Christian's ribs during one take.
Production mayhem. The football stadium explosion was 100% practical. The scene where Bane blows up the field at Heinz Field, Pittsburgh's NFL stadium,
My hometown!
was done with real explosives. Nolan worked with demolition experts to surgically blow a hole in the turf. The players running for their lives, real NFL players from the Pittsburgh Steelers,
My hometown!
who agreed to be in the film. They were told to run like your life depends on it, and they did.
The Batplane, the Bat, was a real flying vehicle. Unlike most superhero vehicles, Nolan insisted the Bat, the flying craft, be a real functional aircraft. His team built a full-scale model powered by a helicopter engine and flown by a stunt pilot. It could lift off vertically and reach speeds of 100 miles per hour. Local residents in Pittsburgh, my hometown, reported seeing a black stealth helicopter, I won't do it again, hovering at night and called the FAA.
Anne Hathaway's Catwoman reveal was a practical joke. Hathaway was so nervous about her first day in a costume that Nolan asked her to arrive early for a secret rehearsal. When she walked onto the set, the entire crew was waiting, and they gave her a standing ovation. She later admitted she almost cried from relief.
The pit was real and torture. The prison pit, where Bruce Wayne climbs to freedom, was constructed at the Johapur stepwell in India. Christian Bale actually climbed the walls for wide shots. The crew built a hydraulic rig to raise and lower him safely, but Bale insisted on doing as much as possible himself. The result, genuine sweat and exhaustion captured on film.
This week on the Happy Serendipity podcast, we are talking about redemption, showing every day, and Niall Harbison of Happy Doggo. It will be available Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Spotify and Amazon.
Casting secrets. Tom Hardy wasn't the first choice for Bane. Before Hardy was cast, Nolan considered several actors, including Dwayne Johnson, who was too busy with Fast Five, and Javier Bardem, who passed. Hardy was so determined he reportedly trained for 8 months, gaining 30 pounds of muscle and developing a posture that made him look more massive than his actual 5'9" frame.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's role was hidden from everyone. Even Gordon-Levitt didn't know his character was actually Robin until he received the final script. Nolan had kept the twist secret from almost everyone, including the studio. Gordon-Levitt said he jumped off his couch when he read the final scene.
Juno Temple's role was originally larger. Juno Temple played Catwoman's accomplice Jen. Her role was significantly cut in editing. Originally, she had a subplot involving Bane's takeover. Temple later joked she was the only actor Nolan ever edited out of a movie.
Marion Cotillard's death scene was controversial for a reason. Marion Cotillard's character, Talia al Ghul, dies in a truck crash, and her performance was criticized as wooden. The reason? The crash was a practical stunt, and Cotillard was given only one take. Her legs were pinned, and she was trying not to scream in pain. The awkward expression wasn't bad acting. It was genuine agony.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Visual and Easter egg gold. The Robin clues were everywhere. If you rewatch the film, John Blake's dialogue is littered with hints. He says he was orphaned like Bruce, works at a boys' home, and tells Bruce he figured out his secret. Nolan embedded the clues so subtly that most audiences miss them until the reveal.
The bat symbol on the bridge. At the end, when Blake finds the Batcave, a shot of the Manhattan Bridge silhouettes a giant bat symbol formed by the lights. It was a practical effect. The production literally turned off specific lights on the bridge to create the shape.
Bane's coat was a real military jacket. Costume designer Lindy Hemming sourced Bane's signature Sherling coat from a vintage military supplier. It was a genuine cold weather pilot's jacket from the 1960s, adding to the character's mercenary backstory.
The pit's climbing sequence was inspired by The Wages of Fear. Nolan screened Henri-Georges Clouzot's 1953 thriller The Wages of Fear for his crew to show how tension could be built through pure physical struggle. The climbing scenes mirrored the film's slow burn dread.
Crazy. Now, we're going to go into the toasted and roasted segment here on Quick Quest Deep Dive.
Okay, it's obviously a very good movie, and I'm toasting it, and it's 5 stars.
I'm also going to give it 5, but 5 times 5, because I don't believe Hollywood will ever make another trilogy like this again, and they don't make movies like this anymore. So this is a big problem with Hollywood right now, but this is 5 out of 5.
Okay, so next week we are doing The Edge of Tomorrow. You know, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, some monsters, some heavy machinery, quite cute helicopter scene, and you'll see.
Sounds like sci-fi, am I right?
Of course it is.
Oh,
I love to torture you.
I know. Then the week after will be a more current film. As has been mentioned to me, to do a more current movie. So therefore, Magda suggested the Oscar-winning movie Sinners. And that'll be in 2 weeks, right here on Quick Quest Deep Dive. Give me a hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
All right.
Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
I'm asshole?
That.
What? See you later.